My wife's agency asked me to sign a document that I am forbidden to post on social media that I am her husband. Now she is accusing me of standing in the way of her dreams because I refused to sign it. For a few years, my wife has been working hard to make a go of being a VTuber streamer. She had her own little character, got a following, and got another character to stream with a talent agency specializing in that. So far, it's been going well. She's been able to make it her full-time job and seems happy with everything. I am, too, immensely proud of her knowing the dedication she's put into it. About a month ago, I got a weird email from someone claiming to be with his talent agency. I didn't even notice it at first. It went to my spam box, was worded weirdly, and something seemed off, so I didn't pay any attention to it. I figured it was spam because I'm subscribed to my wife and the talent agency everywhere possible. However, I then got another one asking me to respond as soon as I could. The TLDR of the email is they want me to sign a legal agreement that says, A, I won't represent myself as wife's VTuber character, wife's actual legal name, romantic partner in any online or in-person event capacity, and B, in the event we were to split up, I would be forbidden from revealing any information regarding a breakup or divorce to protect her anonymity and identity. I read through the legal agreement, which appears to have been done by an actual lawyer. It was, frankly, dumbfounded. As I mentioned, I'm only vaguely familiar with the world of VTubers and anime streamers, so I understand how the majority of VTubers keep their identities hidden and that there is an element of purity in this sort of idle stuff that would cause fans to be disillusioned. That said, some comments on stream/videos have connected her new character to her old one. She never hid her identity from her old one, but never went out of her way to show it. I'm trying to say that if someone did a handful of Google searches, finding who my wife is, or at least looks like, isn't an impossibility. I brought it up to my wife when I got home from work. I could tell she knew it was coming and avoided talking about it. I asked if she had some concern that I was going to go online and just dox her, but she said it was just how this industry works. I remember a couple of weeks ago when I posted a few photos of us on Twitter, and she seemed kind of panicky asking me to take them down because she didn't like how she looked or how she kept loudly mentioning or randomly about reading how locking accounts or making them super private was good for security. Long story short, she just told me to sign it and that it was more of a formality to make her employment smoother. The thing is, this is a legal agreement. As far as I can tell, it's been drafted by a legitimate law office representing this talent agency. There are other clauses in this agreement that I won't get into, but are frankly as ridiculous as the two I mentioned. I admitted I would be happy to help her if it would make things easier, but I wanted to speak to a lawyer before signing anything just to be safe. We argued about it a bit, and I think she saw where I was coming from when I asked why I was the only one who had to sign anything. What about friends, family, past employers, teachers, ex-boyfriend, etc.? She huffed about it, but said I could see a lawyer. She wanted to book it fast because she didn't want it delayed too long. She was quite cold with me for the next few days. For example, I faked being sick to stay home one day to make dinner because her streaming time overlaps with when I'm home, so we haven't had many meals together since she started. I told her it was ready, and she just asked me to put it in the fridge because she had to prep for a collaboration stream. She's also sent me a few texts as she's streaming, reminding me to be quiet or suggesting I hang out with friends until she's done. I got a little fed up with the treatment and finally asked if she was being pissy with me because I didn't sign it. And she said, "What do you think?" Yes, obviously. I asked her what she would do if my job legally demanded that she write down what her job asked of me. She said, "I would sign it. I wouldn't stand in the way of your dreams." I asked if she genuinely thought I was standing in the way of her dreams. That hurt to hear, considering the amount of love and time I've given her towards this, the encouragement, the hours I've spent reassuring her she's talented. She does a good job, and frankly, the 1,000 upon 1,000 of dollars I've helped her for equipment, commissioning artists, etc. She rolled her eyes and huffed. So I asked again, and she shouted, "If you don't sign it, then yes. Because they're already being weird with me and passing me over for certain opportunities, and I know it's because you haven't signed it yet." I have a meeting with a lawyer next. Wait to go over it. Still, I'm getting guilt-tripped by her and her parents for not blindly signing it. Our friend group is split down the middle, but the consensus is that it would be easier to sign it to make her happy. It's not unreasonable to want to consult a legal professional over a legal document, but maybe I'm not that good of a husband after all. So am I the a-hole here for wanting to consult with a lawyer over this? Update? To answer many people, yes, I saw a lawyer. It was an interesting meeting. The lawyer read through the whole thing with a smirk and said, "The only benefit of signing this would be keeping your wife happy. I wouldn't personally sign it, but if you do, and it comes to it, please let me represent you because this is hilarious." She said there's no way it would hold up in court, especially because if the law firm who represents them decides to sue me for breaching it, They'll have to reveal my wife's identity and court documents that will most likely be public anyway. Instead, she contacted them on my behalf to clarify what happens if any part of the agreement is broken as it's not stipulated. And if I'm to sign the agreement, what sort of compensation would I receive? I didn't sign it in the end, but I've told my wife once the lawyer hears back and recommends it, I will. As of writing this post, they haven't responded, and frankly, it hasn't seemingly affected my wife's VTubing career. Things with my wife are still pretty rocky. To address a couple of comments, she earns quite well off streaming. Slightly less than she made at her previous job, but enough to still contribute to the household and live comfortably. She won't speak to me about it anymore, though. She's fine otherwise, but if I ask her how things are, I'll get a brush off, a fine, or occasionally you don't care. You don't have to keep asking. I'm still rooting for her, and she's still growing every time I check her channels or social media. She's doing streaming events and collaborating with other VTubers. She seems happy with it all, and that's enough for me. I know her last job was soul-crushing, and she's worked hard. If she wants to be cold with me about it, that's her call. I'm just happy she's doing something she loves. That's it. That's a boring update. I know, sorry.